What's up, fight fans? I am with Ozzy Diaz, who has a very big fight coming up this weekend at LFA 147, where he'll be competing for the vacant middleweight belt. Ozzy, you're on quite a run right now. I was looking through some of your fights, and they don't really go past the second round for the most part. What is your mindset going into this, knowing that it's going to have some championship rounds, 5 rounds? Are you still trying to get it done within those first 2 rounds?
It's funny. I never really planned for knockouts or submissions or none of that. I prepared for the whole fight, whether it be 15 minutes or 25 minutes. Those knockouts honestly just happen, and that's good. But like, I never go into a fight thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna knock this guy out this round." I'm prepared mentally for the hardest fight of my life for 25 minutes. So that's my approach to the fight.
And I was really looking back on your record. When you were an amateur, you fought Dominick Reyes, who's now in the UFC. So
Yeah.
looking back at your younger self, that was one of your few losses. What did you learn from experience of going against someone who would become such a contender in the UFC?
It was definitely a good experience. I've learned more from my losses. Mostly my approach to fights. You know what I mean? At that time, I was like running the same thing as amateur. I was going through everybody, submitting them and knocking them out. And then I went in there, that mentality, okay, I'm gonna knock this guy out real quick. And then I learned my lesson there, which is such a good thing. It has helped me through my career, And that was the last time I really approached a fight thinking I'm gonna knock someone out fast. Like I said, I go in there now and I prepare myself for the whole fight.
And there's definitely years of experience under your belt. You've been training at CMMA for, you said, 6 years under Chad Savage George.
Yeah.
So how special is it when you're in that moment, all the buildup of fight week, you're finally in the cage and you have someone like Chad Savage George, a 3-time IBJJF world champion, the first ever combat jiu-jitsu champion, and he looks in your eyes and he says, go do what Ozzy does.
Yeah, something special about Chad is he knows all of us individually. We do have a lot of people, a lot of fighters, but he also takes time to get to know our game, and what we're good at. He knows what is happening in our mind, more so. He's very inspiring, and he's a talented coach, and the world is just barely getting to see him. You know what I mean? And he's good. He's great. I love having Chad in my corner.
That's definitely a beautiful relationship to have. Just from his social media, I can see that he's much more than a coach in the fight gym, but with you every step of the way in life. And he wants to see you grow in and out of the cage. I saw him break down one of the Darce finishes he had on bottom. So what is it like being able to learn his submission game and learn from someone who's been doing it at the highest level?
The way he just explains it, man, and he breaks it down beyond like what like normal, you know what I mean, jiu-jitsu is. He's very specific to like the smallest detail, and it helps us a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's amazing. I love that guy.
And it will definitely come in handy against your opponent, Bruno Assis, since his strength seems to be that submission game. So
Yeah.
when you're preparing for this fight, I know you like to just kind of go into the fight, not change too much about your game, but was there anything in particular you were working on or focusing on this training camp headed into this middleweight title fight?
We most of wanted to be well conditioned for the whole 5 rounds. We are aware of how dangerous his ground game is, so we try to work a lot on like not getting there. You know what I mean? It's not that we're avoiding it, because I also have a good ground game myself. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if we have to grapple, we will grapple. If not, we won't. You know what I mean? But he has to get me down there first. And when he gets me down there, if he gets me down there, he's gonna have a rude awakening as well.
It's very exciting. All of your fights seem to be very exciting. A lot of knockouts, a lot of action. So that's definitely something people can look forward to on LFA, on UFC Fight Pass. And it's nice. You're not going to have to travel too much. It's here at the Commerce Casino. So
Yep.
how's the weight cut going? How's everything going heading into this fight?
Weight cut's good. we're actually a little ahead of schedule, so I get to enjoy a little bit more food. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm
Nice.
not. I don't. I'm not one of those guys that cuts like so much weight the week of. You know what I mean? I like to diet throughout my whole camp. You know, it does suck because I'm a natural fat man. I love pizza. I love chocolate, and it's like 6, 7 weeks of no cheat meals. It's very hard, but I'd rather suffer for those 7 weeks than suffer the last week. You know what I mean? Last week I want to feel the best. Like this week leading up, I want to feel rested. I want to feel good. I want to still be able to eat a little bit, you know? And weight cut's good. I love it.
So, what will be Ozzy Diaz's celebratory meal, cheat meal, after you get that middleweight belt for LFA?
Pizza, 100% pizza, all the time. Extra cheese. That's it. Cheese, extra cheese, and then if you could add more cheese to that pizza, we'll take it.
That's awesome. And what ethnicity are you? Are you representing any of your family members, or fight for a certain family member that you want to give a shout out to?
My parents are from Guatemala, so I'm proud to be 100% Guatemalan. I was born here in the States, but both my parents are from Guatemala, so yeah, man, I fight for them as well. You know, I have a lot of support in that country, and yeah, man, I have them behind me, so it's cool.
That is awesome. And honestly, we don't see too many fighters that represent Guatemala as much. I feel like we
Yeah,
always see the Mexican fighter, the Brazilian,
yeah,
but representing Guatemala, that is awesome. I'm so happy that you're going to be able to represent them on one of the biggest stages on UFC Fight Pass. I wish you the best of luck. And I can't wait to see you hopefully at one of these true promotion events. A lot of fighters come from CMMA and they are
yeah.
building their name, building their brand at the smaller stage for now. And you are someone that they probably look up to. They want to get to
Thank
where
you,
you're
thank you.
at. So,
Yeah.
what is a piece of advice for these kids that are just grinding, getting their amateur fights under their belt, and how they could take it to the next level?
One of the biggest things, obviously training hard, but training smart. I mean, you got to take care of your body. Like a lot of these athletes, they come in and like they go super intense, super hard, which is not a bad thing, but you have to make sure you take care of your body and the recovery. So, you know what I mean? Don't be like, oh, I have to be super intense 100% of the time. You know what I mean? Like, just train smart. Like, if something's hurting, work around it. You don't have to stop training, but work around it and get your massages, your ice baths. Your recovery is very important. You know what I mean? That's something that I lacked growing in the sport in the beginning, and now I'm like I really focused on my recovery a lot, just as much as my training. You know what I mean?
100%. That's great advice. I'm training for my first jiu-jitsu tournament in Memorial Day, and I have really grown to appreciate the light flow that we do, and then
Yeah,
like doing the competition training. So there's definitely a balance to it, and it's
yeah,
exciting that the people at CMMA seem to have that balance down. I know when you're a young and hungry fighter, all you want to do is train 100%, but that balance
yeah.
is super important. Is
No,
there
definitely.
any type of sponsorships or anyone that you want to give a shout out? Teammates, the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, obviously my teammates at CMMA, like, they're all amazing. Especially, like coming in fight week, they help you out so much. All of my team at Rise Athletics, Lobos Boxing Club, those guys are amazing, very supportive as well. D Hustle, my massage therapist, he's amazing. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
My
I'm gonna
my
have to
good
hit
friend,
him up. I
yeah,
need the good deep tissue massage, like people that understand an athlete's body.
no, he's really good, and I see him once, twice a week, especially in fight camp, and it hurts, but he's one of the best at it. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
where the
man,
magic
that's
happens. Massages are
yeah.
like actually
Those
not supposed to be like pleasure. Like they're supposed to be like, oh, I need
no,
to release this tension.
yeah, no, he's heard me complain a lot, but we get through it.